This is In Case You Missed It, your National Agriculture News Recap for the week ending May 22nd, 2026. More than 20 groups are urging the federal government to take action on a railway bridge in Vancouver. The groups represent farmers, fertilizer companies, and shippers. They sent a letter to Prime Minister Mark Carney and Transportation Minister Steve McKinnon, which says the Second Narrows rail bridge is a key artery for Canadian exports. It carries almost 1/3 of cargo that moves through the port of Vancouver. Any accident or mechanical failure could halt bulk exports of products like grain and fertilizer. The lift bridge malfunctioned in February. For 4 days, it couldn't be raised, which halted marine traffic and restricted rail service. Fertilizer Canada President Michael Burke said the bridge is emblematic of what's wrong with Canada's transport network. He said we haven't spent enough attention on supply chains to ports. The groups say there needs to be a long-term solution for the bridge. This could mean twinning it or building a modern replacement. Canadian mushroom growers say new countervailing U.S. duties on mushroom imports will drive up grocery prices and threaten jobs on both sides of the border. The U.S. ruling took effect on May 18th. It requires U.S. importers to post cash deposits on Canadian fresh mushrooms and imposes levies. Champs Fresh Farms faces a tariff of 1.62%, and Farmers Fresh Mushrooms faces a 4.97% rate. Mushrooms Canada said the added costs will inevitably be passed on to consumers. As the price increases, the demand will decrease, and this could negatively affect Canadian mushroom production. Under U.S. trade law, a subsidy must meet specific legal requirements before it can be countervailed, that is, offset by tariffs. This includes ensuring that the benefit of countervailing is limited to a specific enterprise, industry, or group. Mushrooms Canada said the U.S. case is flawed. One subsidy is simply general agricultural tax exemptions, which are used by all Canadian farmers. Cash accounting is targeted as a subsidy, but U.S. farmers also use it. A BC equipment tax break is also named in the decision, but this is not specific to mushroom producers. Global urea prices fell in recent months as the market looks for an equilibrium. Prices were up more than 80% in major markets like Brazil and Egypt after hostilities in the Middle East began in late February. However, they've come back down a little in response from major importers like Brazil. Analyst Harry Minahan of Argus Media said farmers are looking for cheaper alternatives. In Brazil, that's meant higher imports of ammonium sulfate. Brazil imported 1.75 million tons during the first 4 months of 2026, compared to 1.4 million tons of urea. Last year, the country imported more ammonium sulfate than urea for the first time. Minahan said a driving factor of future prices will be the return of Chinese urea exports. Those have been highly erratic since 2021, and there have been no exports this year. The next biggest factor will be Brazilian imports. India imported an enormous amount of urea, but Brazil's farmers can't afford to pay as much as Indian farmers, whose purchases are heavily subsidized. That's why global prices have been dropping. How events play out in the Middle East is the wild card. Argus Media has tracked down at least 27 urea-carrying vessels currently stranded in the Persian Gulf. In case you missed these and other stories from across the Glacier Farm Media Network, visit AgCanada.com or download the AgCanada app.